unscripted today. Why? What's going on? And I thought I had this ready, but I don't. So there is an explanation, and just bear with me for a moment. I will get this sorted out, as I don't normally come live on YouTube. But this week I'm going live, and I'm going to do a paint session live, which is, not my most comfortable thing either. And I think Charlie is at the door and wants to say hello. Charlie! Let's grab Charlie real quick so you guys can say hello. Make sure I'm looking at the right spots. I'm looking at you. Thank you for being here today. My name is Kristina Moyer. If you haven't joined me before, I'm an artist specializing in acrylic paints, and today I'm going to paint with acrylics. Yay! It's been a while, it feels like, since I did a video with acrylic. Well, maybe not that long, actually. I did a time lapse recently, so. Anyways, let's get right into it so we don't get a lot of this random stuff that I would have normally edited out. Why on earth am I doing live instead of, like the process of scripting and planning and all of that? And there is some planning that went into this, but why am I doing it? So that's coming in a second, but I think Charlie wants to say hello. So let's say a quick hello to Charlie. Charlie! Do you want to say hi? Okay, Charlie wants to say hello. He's the star of the show. Okay, up. All right, everybody, here's Charlie. Here's Charlie. Every time I turn the camera on, he wants to say hello and try to lick my face, of course. All right, Bubby, Mommy's going to paint, so you choose whether you want to be in here or not, okay? But I got to shut the door. Okay, well, we'll see if he can handle being in here or not. I know, you're so excited. He's so excited for this live. So I'm a little nervous because I don't like paint. Like, I don't mind going live. I love it. But I don't usually paint live. That's something different for me. And we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you think about it once you watch the session, and hopefully you enjoy it and we can do that. I know, he still wants to be up in front of y'all. Okay, guys, it's Charlie, my name, and thanks for being here on my mommy's channel. So if you haven't liked or subscribed, make sure you do so. Oh, thanks, Charlie. Thanks for that. That was really kind. So much support from the fur baby. All right, so I have this little board here today, and it's just a wooden board that's been pre-gessoed. It's a 9x12. It was on sale. It's, was not expensive, and it came in a set of 4. So I want to play, still dealing with getting over a cold right now, right at that end stage where you're just like, yeah, gross and phlegmy. So that's where I'm at, but I managed to put on makeup. So first, why are we getting into this? Maybe I can paint and tell you why. Excuse me. We'll see. So let's bring you closer and see if I can flip you around so I can see what you see and all of that jazz. Come hither. So yeah, I'm going to paint with acrylics on this gessoed board. It's just double-sided wood panel that's been gessoed. Okay, you're going to see me. I'm going to flip you around. All right. Excuse me. Let's go. Let's do this. And this is what happens when you go live for the first time. Very exciting things. So I'm going to try and also monitor. I don't know if I can see comments from this, but I will. It's a learning process here. So thank you for joining me in this learning process. So I'm going to paint the background first, and then we'll get into kind of why I'm doing this live today rather than, creating a video, editing, all of that jazz, which I enjoy doing. I love it, but why am I doing this today? Let's get you situated so you can see what I'm doing. Look at Charlie's just in the background there, just a silly pup. Okay, so I'm just gonna paint the background. I kind of want to use I'm gonna start with my fun products that are new to me. And it looks like we might need a little more light going on. So Charlie, can you turn the light on? No? Okay, I'll do it. Do you want to leave? Or do you want to stay? I guess he wants to stay. Well, you gotta move out of the way, dude. Alright, so I want to play with my new acrylic paints that I purchased recently, but I got sick, and so I haven't been able to play. So I did a little page where I swatched out all my new colors, and I'm super excited for landscape with some of these colors here, this Titan Buff and Titan Green Pale. But today I'm going to get started with a transparent, a transparent raw sienna. So I'm going to just do the background with that. Charlie, stop whining. Okay, I'm going to send him out of here because he's just going to whine. Okay, get out. Go on. Go on out. Go see Daddy. Go on. Shoot. Come on. Go on. Oh, he's been all out of sorts. What can I say? It's been a week. It's been a week. All right, so I'm going to grab a larger brush, something like this, so I can cover the canvas quickly, or not a canvas, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to take some of my transparent raw sienna, and this is a professional Liquitex. Hopefully you guys can hear me just fine, but let me know in the comments. So we're going to open this up. I've already done a good shake. And it's that nice time of year where everything gets really dry where I live, and I start getting my eczema. So I'm going to take a dropper and get it on there on my little palette. So I've got a palette just below. So just put some right there. And we're just going to cover it first. And then I'm going to tell you why. Because I think this warrants an explanation. You know, you don't always have to explain why you do things, right? But I think in this scenario, I do want to explain why, because this channel really does matter to me. I really care about it. I really care about you guys. Appreciate you and value your time and value creating value. I want to make sure that I'm doing that. So I don't normally paint on board, so this will be interesting to see what comes of it. I'm just gonna cover the board first and see how this kind of unfolds. I have some ideas in my mind. I love fall. This time of year is so beautiful with the colors of the leaves changing, the coolness in the air that just creates a vibrancy for like the flowers that are still around, and just love it. So just playing around, like it's really smooth, right? So this board is really smooth. It's used up all my thing. Whoop. I'm not super sturdy apparently. Let's make sure we're nice and sturdy. We don't want to fall partway through. Okay, we need a little more color. So this is a transparent, so we're gonna keep some of that light white kind of behind it. I could even kind of drip it on. Just, whoa. Okay, we're not secure. I wanted to keep it on the edge so that I could get to the bottom, but I'm gonna have to pull it down. Gonna have to pull it down like that. Not what I wanted to do, but gonna have to. So now you just gotta roll with things sometimes, right? Oh, now we're pulling paint. That's okay. Okay, so let's just cover it. It doesn't have to be fancy at all. I just want to kind of cover the base is where I'm starting with. So that's my story. Okay, let's cover a little bit and see. So we're gonna, once this is covered a little more, I'm going to let it dry and then go from there. And I do think we're gonna pull more paint. I don't usually, this is my first time actually using acrylic inks, so it's totally new to me, but this is not, a commission piece or anything. This is kind of a sketchbook practice only on a board. So that's what we're going with today. It's beautiful transparent raw sienna acrylic ink background. And maybe we'll do 2 layers, we'll see. But we're going for a fall kind of image. So we're gonna let that do its thing. I'm gonna wash out my brush. Got my 2 water jars over here. Yeah. So mess. There's a lot of messy stuff going on in here. Okay, so I got my 2 water jars here, some of my paints out that I want to use potentially. And like this, I'm in love with this light blue violet. It is such a gorgeous color. So funny news is this color, you look at this part where they painted on and it's like, oh yeah, I love that color. Well, this one, and I should have known by the name, Hooker's Green Deep Hue Permanent, that this light green that was painted on it is not accurate. It's actually this dark one. So when I, did my swatch, I was like, oh, that's not the green I thought I was buying. So I did a little swatch on the actual tube so that I know in the future what the color actually looks like. Okay, I'm gonna flip you around and explain why I'm doing some lives right now and possibly more in the near future. And I don't know if it's something I'll continue to do or if it's something, you can get a little view of outside. So here's the raw news, truth, everything. Not that I lie, but I don't normally share like a lot of personal stuff on this channel. So, excuse me. But if you go follow me on Facebook or Instagram, that's kind of where I get more personal. But let's talk about why I'm planning to go live, and I hope you guys will hang out with me during this time because it's a bit of an odd time in my life. So for background, for those of you who don't know me at all, my husband was diagnosed with a rare cancer 5.5 years ago, and I actually started my YouTube channel during that time. I've realized this, not like thinking about that beforehand, but it was something that I did while, maybe even during COVID actually. Did you start a YouTube channel during COVID? But anyway, so he's been fighting this cancer, and it's a very rare one. Maybe 100 people in Canada have it. It's called mucosal melanoma. And it was already stage 4 when they found it because it's kind of hidden cancer. It's actually a non-skin cancer, by the way. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with this cold. Anyway, so we've been up and down in this journey with this. And, excuse me. Just had to cough because that's just gross. All right. So, it's been up and down, and I've been a very hopeful person. We're very faithful people, hanging on to our faith and using, that's kind of our secure belief system that we have that's helped us through all of this and is still helping us now, probably more than ever throughout the whole journey. And there's been close calls. There's been times where the treatment has, really brought him down and that kind of thing. And I know this channel isn't about my personal self really that much, but what's happening right now is really going to affect me. And so I just wanted to make you guys aware so that going forward, especially in this next while, that you hang in there, because that's what I'm doing too. So, all right. So basically, in the last year, there's been a lot of deterioration, and it just something new would happen, damage to his trigeminal nerve because of the tumor pressing on it, and so dryness issue that will never heal, because of the permanent damage, and just kind of paralysis of the face on the left side, and hard to eat, and now most recently, in and out hospital, ER, all that kind of stuff too. and treatment, stopping treatment, starting treatment. That's, 5.5 years. That's what we've been doing. And this past summer, he was hospitalized for colitis onset from the treatment that he was receiving. And then he started getting this sore kind of in his mouth kind of thing. It was actually the tumor growing and eating away at the roof of his mouth. And that kind of really freaked us out a little bit. Like, I was like, oh, that's really not good, because beforehand I couldn't see anything. So anyways, things are progressing, and we know that. And because he got colitis from the treatment, I was thinking, okay, he probably can't. They were trying to work with this colitis stuff actually almost a year ago. That was onset from the treatment. And so even taking a break from it for quite a while, like, hasn't helped, and being on steroids, like quite a high dose, and that kind of thing is kind of given him quality. But now things are deteriorating more. And on his last scan, and they tried to do radiation to prevent further growth in that area, but it isn't working. So, and we didn't have high expectations for like that to be healed necessarily. But anyways, so this past week we received new, like, his MRI results, and we went in to the oncologist. And I guess I wasn't totally expecting this, but I'm also not really surprised. But basically, they can't do any more treatment, and like, his body won't tolerate any more treatment. And I kind of already knew that, but when the word palliative comes into play, it kind of changes things. And so anyway, so he has been transferred to a palliative care team, and this week has been all about that. And so it's kind of not only taken away for time that I could spend, working on these projects and creating content for all of you, but it's also my time that I'm choosing to spend with my family, because time is precious. They don't have a crystal ball, so they don't know. He could keep living for a long time, but the estimation is 2 to 3 months. So when you hear something like that, when you hear palliative care, when you hear like no more treatment, and they're actually passing on the torch, like, to the palliative care team, it is different than the whole rest of the 5.5 years of kind of back and forth of no treatment and then back to treatment. It's different. So it's kind of this surreal headspace that I'm in. And I know that art is really therapeutic. So I'm going to use that as a tool to help me through some of this as well. So I do want to create content that will be like, including some of that, and maybe, and some things that will be really focused on, art as therapy, and creating things that really are from the heart, and really try to bring a spirit of beauty in life, that, like, this time is about appreciation and about, and like, gratitude and enjoying and being present. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be present. I'm going to be here. And what better way to be present than go live? So that's, this particular week has just been like this. So that's why I decided to go live, and that's why I'm here. And so it's going to be a bit tough, possibly. And I know I have lots of support and everything. So it's weird, because I said this to a couple of people. It's like everything has changed, but nothing has changed, because, we're still going. I'm still doing like my work. He's still here, but there's this underlying uncertainty that it's kind of growing and kind of hard. So that's what I'm going through, but I know that we can still have joy in every circumstance in our life. So even though I'm going through this hard thing, my perspective is an eternal perspective. Like, that when we die, we're not just nothing, that our spirits and bodies are separated for some time, but they'll be reunited. So my beliefs are strong, and that I know will carry me through in part, but also I know that there's angels around me, both like friends and people that are in my life. I consider them angels, and even my puppy Charlie, he's an angel. So no more chat, that's the explanation, and I think we're dry enough to get another layer going. So thank you guys so much for being so so good, so supportive. You guys share the most beautiful comments that are uplifting, and when I see you connecting with me like on Instagram and everything like that, it is really joyful, because that's what I want. I want to bring like joy to people through art, because that's what it's like my soul coming out, and that sounds creepy, but that's kind of what it is. So let's get back to painting and see what we can come up with. I'm actually not exactly going off of a reference photo, but there's a lot of beauty that I've been walking around and seeing, so that's kind of what we're gonna go with. So flip your back around. And we're definitely not going to finish this piece right now. Here's my grandma's piece. But I want to get a start on it. And I wanted to share that like explanation with you guys too. So thank you. Let's get this set up properly. Oh, I guess I need to bring you down a bit. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about live videos, where an artist is, do you like watching live videos with art content? I'm curious about that. So another thing I want to do is I want to get that blue going, because it really excites me. It really does. So I don't know if this is necessarily how I would recommend going forward with this blue that I'm going to do. Like, I don't know if that's the next step I would recommend to others to take, but it's what I'm going to take. So take it or leave it, whatever you want. Let's choose a brush. I don't want to go too small. Here's some of my brushes. Excuse me, sorry. You guys are probably like, why don't you just skip a week? And maybe you feel that way. Maybe you feel like maybe you should have just skipped a week. I'm kind of feeling I just really, I know these are not big brushes, but I just love them. I'm gonna start with those and see how I go from there. Sometimes it's nice to work with a square edge or round. Which one? I think I'm feeling square edge. Let's wet the brush. Get some paint. And I'm just going to imagine a scene in my mind a little bit. But also I'm going with the flow. So I'm going to start at the top because I know I want most, it's kind of the sky up at the top here. But I want to kind of bring in leaves. Now I'm not sure if I want it kind of more close up. So I'm going to kind of let the brush play a little. There are just dazzling golden hues around us right now. So I'm going to work kind of loosely right now as I build up a background. Just going loose. You can swap how you hold your brush to get a different feel for different marks. I think maybe I'm filling in more here. We'll see. It's definitely interesting painting on kind of a smooth surface. And we're going to have some of these kind of golden colors peeking through. I just love the like complementary colors here. Could bring more orange hues into the mix. down into here. I don't know, maybe this is going to be a little more abstract. I'm not sure yet. I think when you're going through something like emotional, we turn to things that are creative, like outlets sometimes. Maybe we go to more destructive outlets, but a more positive outlet is something, creative. I'm loving the feel of this paint. It's like this buttery consistency. So I think I want the feeling of fall with this painting. So I'm imagining kind of that blue sky that is, next to these golden hues that just pop, that are just so beautiful. And maybe we're kind of looking up. Maybe that's the vantage point, or maybe not. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. So I'm just going to kind of start bringing it down. And you can kind of see how my easel, how my easel shifts a lot. It's an old easel. And because we have this background already in there with different levels of, maybe golden up here and just lighter in certain areas, we can use that to our advantage for, creating certain effects, or, maybe there's a reflection happening or something. So I'm kind of right now just kind of squinting my eyes here and there to kind of see what balance I want to create with this. I guess it's a bit of a therapy session for myself. So just not totally haphazardly adding paint. It's kind of like learning an intuition, like figuring out your intuition when it comes to painting like this without a reference image, just painting like this. It's, it's hard to imagine. My husband and I, we worked on our garden a lot this year. It's hard to imagine him not seeing some of the fruits of those labors, So I appreciate your continued support through this time. I know I'm going to need it. I know I'm going to need that support. So thank you. And if you don't even know me, you're like, what the heck? Then go check out my Facebook. That's going to give you a little more explanation or kind of understanding. My husband has shared his cancer journey all the way through, just publicly. So it's not something you need to do alone if you have a challenge like that. So I really love reflection. So I'm almost thinking of kind of creating some kind of reflective quality to this in some way. I don't know yet. This is just like a little, like I said, it's like a therapy session right now. And ideally I would like this to be kind of out of the way. So I might need to fix some things up at the bottom of the painting, but also taking note that this is a thin board that's not just going to be hung up as is. It's going to have to be framed. So the edges aren't my biggest concern, depending on what kind of frame you get. But I don't know if I want this showing through up there. I don't know yet. Okay, I need to wet my brush, wash it out. flushing it out. And figure out what the next step will be. How I want to take it forward. Kind of what I want to do with it. I'm debating whether to go in next with my golden hues. So I have this bronze yellow, which I really love. I'm kind of thinking about that, and I'm also thinking about this deep green. That's kind of where I'm currently at. Be fun to do a transparent layer on top just to see what happens, just to play. But I know we're 30 minutes in, and I don't want to keep you, I don't want to make this a really long live. I think I want to add a little bit more though. Once you start adding, you kind of see, okay, this needs a little work. Adding some finesse, or just another layer where there's maybe yellow showing through where I don't want it to show through. Kind of using the corners sometimes when I want to get a different, like not a square shape, get kind of a rounded shape. Oh, that just pulled off some paint. So you gotta be careful of that when your paint is starting to dry. You can accidentally pull paint off. But I guess I'm kind of thinking about the leaves falling. It's quite symbolic actually of what's going on in my life right now in terms of this, like, we know winter is coming, and it's when you're dealing with, somebody that your loved one that has a terminal illness, yeah, you do. It is kind of like winter is coming. And I do feel sad, but also very grateful that he's lived 5.5 years. And I don't know, he may continue to live longer than expected, or maybe it'll be shorter than expected, but whatever it is, I don't have control over that. So it's basically like you can accept it and find joy in life and look to the good that you can do, or you can wallow and lose that opportunity. And my husband has set the example of making it a thing of service rather than a story of self-pity. And I've always appreciated that. He kind of set that tone from the get-go, and that's really helped me through the journey as well. The courage that he's shown, the message that he's shared. And he continues to share. So I'm kind of foreseeing like this kind of, I guess it's this like abstract thing going on, but it's going to feel hopefully like what I envision is kind of this fall image, like when you look up at leaves or you have the feeling of leaves. So that's kind of where I'm going with this one. And I don't know, let me know in the comments if you want to see me continue this live next week, or if you'd like to just see me finish it with a time lapse kind of thing, which I'm kind of feeling like that's what I'll do. And I'm also working on a commission right now, a watercolor piece, and I do have like Christmas commissions coming up. And just with whatever things going on, I'm probably not gonna set myself up for doing markets. I'm not sure yet, but that's kind of where I'm at right now anyways. just with everything that's going on. So if you missed the reasoning about this, it's about the middle of the video somewhere. Maybe I can go back in and create chapters. Hopefully I can make it easier for you guys to enjoy and get what you need from this content. I know this painting looks pretty weird right now, nothing special, but that's kind of how things start, right? You don't always know, just like our lives, we don't always know why certain things happen and what's going to come of it. But we do what we know is right and we keep going. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this throughout the week when I have time that I can spare away from my family. But for the most part, I'm going to try and spend as much time with my family as possible, especially Stephen and my puppy Charlie. So that's kind of priority right now. But of course, like I said, this channel means so much to me. Building kind of a community where it's like positive space where we improve our art skills and become like reach the goals that we have with art, whatever those may be, whether you want to be a full-time artist like I'm working towards, and not just have sales here and there, but like a real like full-time artist, or whether you're just wanting to kind of go the therapeutic route of art or just like improve some of your skills and have fun with it as a hobby, like this is the right place to be. So I hope that's kind of the vision I have for it. So I hope that you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this random paint session. I mean, the painting is nothing great right now, but just remember that in your life too. Here's a little analogy, right? That, you know, maybe our paintings, we're like a work of art in the making. We're not a finished work of art, we're in progress, and we may look at ourselves and think, what the heck? Like I'm not a beautiful work of art, but you're a beautiful work of art in the making. So as we make good choices, like every brush stroke is a choice, and every day, and making it something that we like and that we feel is right, and doing the thing that is right, then we'll become that beautiful painting. And throughout our lives, hopefully we start to see that more and more and that coming to be. So hopefully this will turn out into a beautiful painting. But thank you for joining me in this session. And you can probably see why I usually do a time lapse rather than, you know, a live painting or real time, because it just takes a long time to paint. You have to wait for things to dry. You're making tons of decisions throughout the whole way through. But thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this and your first time popping in, hit that subscribe button, that like button, give me a comment. It really helps other people to see the channel too. So if you're like, I want to support you, but I don't know how, now you know. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. Now, how do I end this live? I don't even know. Okay. You guys, I don't even know how to end my live. This is hilarious. Well, we can trim this at the end. Somebody tell me, how do I end my live? There we go. I think I found it.